from Tutorial Tech 1.
My name is Megat Mama Alif bin Mama Azmir and my metric number is 9200340 and my tutorial group is TLE0722.
My name is Nur Afika Izzati Zaini. My number metric is 9200341 from Tutorial Tech 1.
My name is Marsha Maisara binti Muhammad Edilan with metric number 9200342 from Tutorial to Tech 1.
Sabiha, can you explain about Korean funeral?
Yes, of course. Let me explain about this.
The event of a death in South Korea, the local hospital should be contacted to get a death certificate from the doctors. If the death is related to an accident or crime, the local police station should be contacted to get an autopsy certificate. The certificates are issued only to the family or relative of the deceased. One of these certificates should be provided when registering the death.
So, how they do Korean funeral? Do you want to know it? Stay tuned.
Hello? Oh, okay, bye. See you later. Afika, we got a bad news. Sabiha's stepmother passed away.
Oh God, I'm sorry to hear that. Is her stepmother a Korean woman that we have visited in hospital last month?
Yes, she is, and we have to prepare ourselves and attend the ceremony at 3 p.m.
But can we attend the funeral ceremony even we are not their family members?
Of course, for your information, in Korean culture, people who attend the funeral ceremony is not only for the relatives or family members, but it can be also for those people who are close with their relatives or family members, even we are more or less strangers. Because most often, it is purposely to give support to the people around them who had a closer connection to the deceased. For example, to the family members or friends concerned who might be grieving and feeling sad. Although guests might feel sad for the ones immediately concerned, but staying cheerful is a way to raise the spirits of friends who have lost the loved ones. Therefore, guests are likely to put up a brave front and not showing any direct sign of sadness. In other words, Korean funerals are not only for the deceased, but also for the ones who are still alive.
Oh, I see. Since we dress in fully black, so why not if we go now?
Okay, let's go.
Right.
Drinking and playing card games. We commonly see people at funeral service halls playing ghost stop, or also called eswatu in Korean, which is a traditional fishing card games. At first, it may seem insensitive to play card games at a funeral, but there is deeper meaning to it than just entertainment. Traditionally, a Korean funeral would last 2 nights and 3 days, during which times the bereaved family and close relatives and friends would get next to no sleep at all, in order to stave off physical fatigue. As a way to greet and socialize with mourning guests, they would play many rounds of ghost stop. Furthermore, a Korean funeral hall consists of a room with a memorial altar as well as a larger reception room. It is considered polite to remain in the reception room until late as a way of showing support, and having a glass of soju or playing cards are socially accepted ways to spend the time there. So guys, let's eat here. The food is provided.
Oh, can we eat here?
Yeah, of course.
Why we can eat here?
Basically, if you go to a Korean funeral, don't be surprised if you are offered something to eat. Preparing a simple meal is a way for the bereaved family to show their gratitude towards their funeral guests. It is considered as good manners to eat the meal that has been offered, no matter how busy you may be. You guys didn't get it, is it? Let me explain more. If you go to a Korean funeral, don't be surprised if you are offered something to eat. Preparing a simple meal is a way for the bereaved family to show their gratitude towards funeral guests. It is considered good manner to eat the meal that has been offered, no matter how busy you may be. The meal often is simple. You are likely to receive yukgaejang or spicy beef soup, jon or Korean pancake, boiled pork slices and fruits. The non-gloomy Korean funeral described above has been a part of Korean tradition for a long time. We can trace the origin of this tradition in dashiragi, a funeral play which has been designed an intangible cultural property. The dashiragi play, full of funny stories and songs, was performed at funeral in the past in order to give comfort to the bereaved family. Song, lyrics, and dialogues in the play were often along the lines of, "We heard that there is a party in this house, so let's have a jolly good time." It sounds almost a bit offensive, but it was probably a way for Koreans in the past to process the grief after losing a loved one. The dashiragi play is not performed during funerals anymore, but the culture of non-gloomy and bustling funerals lives on. We can get a glance at a modern Korean funeral in the K-drama My Mister, where IU stars as one of the leads. At the funeral of the grandmother of Jian, which is IU, the mood is initially very quiet and sad. Sang-hoon feels bad for Jian and decides to order an abundance of funeral flowers, and also asks friends and acquaintances to drop by to cheer up Jian. Guests show up in large numbers, drinking and enjoying themselves. When IU's longtime friend, the elderly janitor, sees the commotion, he says, "Your grandmother is very lucky."
Condolence money. If you attend a Korean funeral, you are expected to bring condolence money. Traditionally, it is considered auspicious to give money with odd numbers such as 3, 5, 7, and 10. Why 10 is also included with odd numbers? It is because 10 is included since you get it by adding the lucky number like 3 plus 7. Korean paper money is counted in tens of thousands, so add 4 zeros to each number. Because of inflation, recently it is considered good manners to give 5 or 10, or in other words, 50,000 or 100,000 won. If you aren't very close to the family of the deceased, 50,000 won is enough, whereas you may be expected to give 100,000 won or more if you are close to them.
The envelope is equally important. Once you have decided on the amount, you put the money bills in an envelope. But it does not end there. You also have to choose the proper words. On the front of the envelope, you should write any of the words. These are different words for condolence. On the back of the envelope, you should write your name, usually vertically. Some also write a short message or a prayer to the departed on the right side. Traditionally, Korean would offer condolence money after having bowed to the chief mourner, the one who organized the funeral, often the first son. But recently, it is more common to hand over the envelope at the entrance after having written one's name in the guest book.
Next, what to wear. For the family of the deceased, typically men will wear black suits and women will wear black hanbok, while the chief mourner is usually seen with an armband and women will wear white ribbon hairpin. While the funeral visitors are recommended to wear black suits or suits in dark colors. Bare skin can be frowned upon, so if they want to wear skirts, they should wear stockings too. And if they want to wear pants, they should wear black socks. Besides that, funeral visitors have to also avoid slippers or sneakers and instead go for more formal shoes.
Entering the altar room. Family members of the deceased always visit the visitor at the entrance. When you arrive, first offer light bowl to the chief mourner and then you can write your name at the guest book. At this time, you can also hand over your envelope with the condolence money. But don't try ever shake your hand with the chief mourner because handshake is an expression of delight and is not proper for funeral. If you have already exchanged your greeting with the chief mourner, you can take off your shoes and then walk toward to the altar room. And then you can walk toward to the portrait of the deceased and burn incense or put a chrysanthemum on the altar. So, for more information, let's watch this video.
전능하신 하나님 아버지 용서하시고 하나님 나라에서 성인들과 모든
As we can see in this video, after offering incense or a flower, you should bow to the portrait of the departed. Put your one hand on top of the other and raise them to eye high, after which you kneel and make a deep bow until you reach the floor. The number of bows is also important. When you bow to someone that has passed away, you do it 2 times. For occasions such as Lunar New Year, when you offer bows to family members that are still alive, you would instead do it 3 times.
A mourning period. A Korean funeral is usually stretches over 3 days, after which the deceased is usually cremated. Traditionally, only close family and friends attend this last service. After the body has been cremated, the bones are collected and stored in a container, which is handed over to the family. The bones are then either usually buried in the family grave or put the rest in the charnel house.
Timing for a Korean funeral. Most Korean funerals take place over 3 days, although there is some variation. The timing may be longer if the person dies at night or the family is Christian and does not want to hold the funeral on a Sunday.
Cremation instead of burial. While preparing the body for burial was a major part of Korean funeral custom in the past, most Koreans now elect to cremate their loved one then bury them. According to National Funeral Director Association, over 71% of South Koreans elect cremation. This may do a large part of difficulty finding burial space in cemeteries in the country, but it's also an affordable option that honors the dead.
Next, hospitals as funeral homes. Basically, traditional Korean funerals take place in the home of the deceased. However, modern funerals today often take place in the hospitals which have designated rooms for funerals. While additionally, in the United States, Korean American can take place in funeral homes. Next, Korean funeral clothes. If the body is being buried, the deceased will be dressed in special burial clothing which is often made of silk. Whether the body is being buried or cremated, mourners also wear a special funeral clothes which is previously stated that they will often dress in black, and additionally men sometimes wear a hem armband. Moreover, hospitals also provide funeral clothes, whether it is for sale or for rent. In the past, close family members might wear traditional dress entirely or mostly in hem.
Especially in the situation where the family has elected to cremate the body. A single portrait of the deceased will be placed on an altar. Often, the deceased will choose his or her portrait personally before death. There's a studio that are specialized in taking this portrait, and in the funeral, the portrait will be surrounded by flowers. As example, we can look at this picture. Traditionally, funeral song would accompany the pallbearers carrying the coffin. However, modern Korean funeral music is limited by hospital noise restrictions.
So in conclusion, there are so many other countries' culture that are unique and interesting to learn. We as a human being should learn as many cultures as possible so that we can become more understand and know each other better. By understanding each other culture, we can avoid any misunderstanding between each other, and we can live in harmony. We can also avoid any fights or arguments between us. So do not forget to learn others people culture, because there are so many benefits that we can get from it.